Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Christy Alonso, the great Kelly Reichardt, who's...
How do you say it?
Is it Reichardt?
I think it's Reichardt.
Okay, Reichardt, fine. The great Kelly Reichardt, whose films include Wendy and Lucy and Meek's Cutoff and Old Joy, and the one where they blow up the dam.
Oh, yeah.
Night Moves.
The conspiracy.
Night Moves, yes. She's back. I think one of our best American indie filmmakers, and her latest is Certain Women.
Yes, so this is sort of a triptych, I would say, of these three women's lives that are kind of loosely intertwined in small town Montana. We begin with Laura Dern, and she is a lawyer who is helping an elderly client played by Jared Harris through a horrible accident that he suffered on the job, and then switches over to Michelle Williams, and she is married to James LeGros, and they are building a house. They're building her dream house for themselves and their daughter. And then there is the wonderful, like the best part of the whole thing, I think. Lily Gladstone plays a character known just as the rancher, and she very quietly goes about her duties every day, working with these horses on a ranch. But she starts taking this class taught by Kristen Stewart. It is an education law class randomly, and that becomes her only friend, and it's how these women assert themselves and find themselves or not, and connect or not. Take a look.
Never done this before. Guess we'll just start at the beginning.
Hey, Flint.
What are you doing here?
Came to see my lawyer. My wife wants me out of the house.
You can't keep coming here.
Your wife works for you.
No, she's the boss, actually.
I wonder how much more there might be buried here.
It's hard to describe this movie.
It is.
It's not high concept at all.
Yeah, it does not loan itself to easy synopsis, but it's fascinating, and it's so well acted, and so just the fact that it's so hard to describe is part of what makes it so exciting to watch, because you genuinely just don't know where it's going to go. It operates on such a human level that it's not like there's these big plot events that are going to transpire, and we're going to see how that works out. It's very much about these kind of personal relationships and decisions and very small scale stuff and so fascinating. And again, it's a hard sell to people who will not let go of like old concepts. But Kristen Stewart is a terrific actress.
Yes, I think we've crossed that threshold where we can all assume
I would like
that
to
at this
think so,
point.
but I
You
think a lot of people on the
so?
internet are still like,
I
nah, Twilight. No.
There's so much more to her. And there was before Twilight.
Yes.
And there will be afterward.
Go
Yeah.
see Clouds of Sils Maria, see this movie. I hear Personal Shopper is really good. I
Yes.
can't wait to see that one.
Yes.
But yeah, all the actors here are terrific. Laura Dern, this is like one of the meatiest things I've gotten to see her tear into in a while, and she's extraordinary. Michelle Williams has worked a bunch with the director
Right.
before,
She's her
and she's
muse.
great. And yeah.
And again, there are big things that happen here, but they occur in a really understated kind of humanistic way.
Yes.
Right? There are confrontations, there are revelations, there are moments that in a different kind of film would be big and
Right.
would be emotional, but Kelly Reichardt plays it out in a really subdued way, which almost makes those moments more powerful.
Yeah.
I think, and a little more heartbreaking sometimes. You kind of wonder where each of these scenarios is going, because each story doesn't really follow any kind of narrative that you will expect, and it may seem a little dry, some of the details of like the lawsuit with Jared Harris or whatever, or the details of the class that Kristen Stewart is teaching, and so you may kind of wonder sometimes, where are we going with this? But I like that about it, because it's unlike anything else, and yet it feels true and it feels real, and there's no mocking of the small town life. There's no mocking of the rural life, the small town Montana life. All of Kelly Reichardt's films take place in the American West, and I feel like there's a real feel for the rhythms and the details and the texture of these places, and in this movie in particular, the insularity of it, the small town of it. And again, not judging it, not judging anybody, but just depicting it with a grace and a realism.
Yeah, it's observational, but you're right. I never get the sensation that anybody's being judged. And also just the fact that you have these three sort of parallel storylines, and it's that whole thing of like, are they going to overlap? Is there going to be something that brings them together or not, or how? But yeah, you're right. I think the fact that it is all operating on such a on such a humane level, and it's not following this track that we've just kind of come to know as far as movie plots where this will happen and then that and then this and that, you know, and so it just kind of unfolds away where anything could happen because that's how life is, you know. Yeah, it's just beautifully put together, and I saw it in January at Sundance, and it's still a movie that I think about as one of the best things I've seen all year.
Right, and we talked about Sundance and how things get overinflated in Sundance, but this
Yeah.
is an example of that not being true. This
No,
truly is really great.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, as we were saying on Facebook, I hope it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. I mean, this week at the Wrap, we're reviewing 11 movies that are opening this week. Like, so many people hold off their films until the last part of the year because they don't want to get forgotten by awards voters. But now you get this sort of glut of interesting small movies, and there's a lot of competition out there. But find time in your life
Yes.
for certain women. It's a really exciting film.
So what's your number?
I give it an 8.8.
I'm saying 8.9, so our number is an 8.9. It is at 95% on the tomato meter. So if it's coming near you, if you want something small and interesting, this is it. Bye.